Welcome back, our dear viewers. As per the directives of President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, the Ministry of Interior has launched We Are All One initiative, or كلنا واحد, in collaboration with the major retail chains, so as to provide high quality basic and food commodities at affordable prices. Notably, retail chains sell basic items at lower prices compared to counterparts. Reductions range between 20% to 30%. To shed more light on these issues, we are very much delighted to be joined over the phone by Dr. Amany, Hola, President of the Egyptian Center for Society Services. Good morning, Dr. Hola.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, dear.
Dr. Hola, to what extent do the national initiatives to enhance citizens' lives is reflecting the state's interest in the welfare of the Egyptian citizen?
It is the first time, I think, even worldwide. That's why it's very recognized that this initiative is touching the details of the lifestyle of the people in the very rural areas, especially in Upper Egypt, including all the details of their life, making it like it's a kind of a complete circle to achieve the development in these areas.
Yes. What is the effect of the state's concern for the citizen on their positive spirits and giving, Dr. Hola?
We have to understand the Egyptian personality, which used not to trust the words, because we used to listen to a lot of words and a lot of promises. So now they are watching by themselves the achievement of and implementation of the words on the ground, which makes big difference for them.
Yes, indeed. How does the civil society actually support the national initiatives such as We Are All One or the Decent Life initiatives, as well as other initiatives such as Takaful and Karama programs, especially in the governorates of Upper Egypt?
I used to say that the social societies used to know the details which cannot be discovered by the official paper, because they are embedded in the people's life, and they know all the real needs of people by the direct contact with them. So their role on this initiative is very important, especially when we have a kind of transparency and follow-up to prevent any corruption.
Yes. How can, Dr. Hola, the Decent Life support the civil society activities and the projects as well?
By the discovering all the needs, and according to the different areas, because we have a special character of the distribution of people in different areas. So we have to understand the needs of every area and try to cover it by tailoring the developmental steps needed in these areas.
Dr. Hola, how do such initiatives enhance the youth potential from your point of view?
We have to understand that it's a long way to start, and we just making the real good steps, but in the right track. This is the most important. But it's not a magic stick. We have to continue and to be patient and to correct the mistakes sometimes, making follow-up and discovering after a few steps what's needed more, what should be prevented, what should be added to make the real change.
Actually, what is the extent of progress in projects at the level of infrastructures on the Egyptians' lives?
This is the hidden factor. People maybe not recognizing on the top, but actually it is the real need they have to understand. Because sometimes we hear people talk about what the importance of bridges and new highways are made. They are the most important part in changing the whole system. Because, like, if we are trying to make an example of the body of the our human body, the most important part we cannot ignore is the veins of the body, which is receiving and sending all the details, all the enzymes, all the hormones, everything we need. This is the same in, we are talking about the bridges and highways. We cannot reach a good hospital if we don't have a good way to go there. We cannot reach the factory or import or export the important materials we need if we don't have good ways. But people sometimes, especially of course the simple people, they don't understand. But we have to increase the awareness and make them understand all the details are very important, and the priorities are very put in a good way.
Yes. Can you give us your insight, Dr. Hola, on how the Decent Life initiative and We Are All One may contribute to provide job opportunities for the young Egyptian people?
Of course, we have to start the ladder from the beginning. If we are talking about job opportunities, we have to understand that we need to have basics of life to these people, starting from the vocational training, starting from having good health, enough supplies. It's all integrated system to get a skilled people who can be independent and start to work in fields are needed in the market.
Yeah. What's your opinion in the importance of involvement of youth in the project and following up on the Sustainable Development Project, Dr. Amany?
Any project needs to be corrected and followed up, and understanding the differences between different areas. Also the way of thinking of people, the culture of people. The following up and the supervision is very, very important to make sure that we are still in the same right track.
Yes, indeed. Also, we have to highlight here the importance of these initiatives for the women empowerment as well. To what extent these initiatives are helping the women empowerment in Egypt?
Of course, women are used to be neglected or not to be in the right spot, especially in the developing countries. And if you recognize, the history can tell us a lot about the achievements of civilization, being completely different when you are talking about countries who used to respect women and other countries who used not to respect them. And the very obvious example is the ancient Egyptian civilization. How great is it? Because they put the woman in the right position and make it having her role in the civilization.
Yes.
So if you look to other countries who used to neglect women and ignore their rule, you will never find a great civilization not having the woman in the right place.
Yes.
So this is time for us, for our great nation, to put the woman again in its role, to be able to have all the needs she should have to improve our whole life.
Yeah. Also, back to the role of the NGOs, Dr. Hola, to what extent, as you are working in that field in particular, these initiatives are supported by the NGOs, and to what extent you are working in parallel with the government in that?
We are working like a team, actually, because if one of us is not having a real potential, the project will be limited. The paperwork is not enough to tell all the details about people and how to help them. So the social societies are taking the small details of people and helping them in the real needs they are in need of, especially when it comes to the small details. Maybe some people feel shy to tell, or some proud people cannot be very demanding.
Indeed, Dr. Hola, and again highlighting the importance of these initiatives for Upper Egypt, to what extent these initiatives did reach its goal in developing the Upper Egyptian governorates on different levels and reaching the Egyptian women and youth there.
Upper Egypt used to be ignored for decades, and they reached the extent that it was a very tough life. Make all the young people travel to the capital and other big cities, and make the demographic imbalance in all Egypt. So when we start now to make them feel they have loyalty to their land, and the extension of the projects even to the other parts used to be having new cities in the other parts, which make the normal extension in the same areas, and instead of traveling away from their own land, of course, make complete difference in their life, and make them start to feel they don't need to immigrate and leaving all the areas, and make the demographic balance again being normal.
Indeed. Dr. Amany Hola, President of the Egyptian Center for Society Services, thank you so much for your precious input and for being our guest for today. Our dear viewers, with that we come to the end of this segment in the Breakfast Show. We'll go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to continue our segment, so stay tuned.